We want you to know that you're not alone and to realize your real estate vision. Community partnerships are essential. Partnerships with your bank, your neighbors, and ultimately your real estate professional.
To do so, experts in the affordable housing space, wealth principles, collaboration with businesses and philanthropic organizations, all in an effort to continue this meaningful transformation and enrich the lives of those we serve. We are here. We are in it. The endeavor to do better, to be better, to produce meaningful environments from the rubble of their individual situations and circumstances. To say proudly, it can be done. It can be done because we did it. And we can do it in your situations as well if you are willing to do the work.
Hello, I'm Felicia Moore, your host for Realty, Resources, and Reality. This is a production of EXIT Realty West Midtown, and I'm so excited today to have the broker of record, Michael Williams, here with me as we explore more about this firm and more about what we're going to be doing, because we have a heart for the community we want to serve. And this is a way of service for us to provide information to you that you can use. So thank you, Michael, for joining us here on this show. And so let's start by just kind of defining, because sometimes people, real estate agents, real estate brokers, real estate affairs, they're not quite sure what all the services are that are provided by the agent. Could you share that with us?
Sure. Thank you for having me to discuss what we feel is crucial information. And that's the basis of what we do here at EXIT Realty West Midtown, our community with the information. So thank you for having us here on this, having me here on this particular platform to discuss that communication. So in a transaction, a real estate transaction, there is more than 200 different things that have to be done, all in concert, such so that you can take those cute little Instagram pictures at the closing table. But there's a lot like the duck's feet underwater. There's a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts. So there is a very good chance that you can get it wrong if you try to do that on your own. So we're as a firm that we want to arm you with the information and get the services that you need. Everybody needs something different. We understand that. We want to give that information specific to that client so that they can have the best experience possible.
So in terms of services, so if you're looking to buy real estate, is this a place that you look out?
Absolutely. What our firm specializes in commercial, residential, as well as we help people lease their properties as well. So anything in that real estate space, and more importantly than that, we are not charging you by the hour or by every 7 minutes like attorneys do. Call us. If you got questions, just call us and say, hey, I just want to run something by you. And we'll be free flowing with our information and give you the information you need.
So you kind of touched on this earlier, And, when you're, particularly if you're selling your property, you build into the cost of the sale a commission that is paid to the agent that has your property on sale and the other agent. And I think he touched on the fact there are 200 plus or more things that need to be done to make sure everything is right to get to the closing table. What are some other reasons why people should seek a professional, whether they engage them in an agency agreement or not, but why seek out a professional versus...
Great question. That's a great question. I would like to use a personal experience. I was called by a personal homeowner in this community. They said, "Hey, I want to sell my house. I'm done. I just want to retire and move back to my family's home in a small town, Georgia." I said, "Fine, we could do that." So, of course, we sat down and did the analysis of his property, the value, and that kind of thing. I did my analysis. Are you the person that owned the property that can sell it? And that, although those things checked out, but a deeper dive found out that this person had bought the property from someone else, cash or a check or however they did it, but he did not do all the steps, all the 200 steps. So this particular client has a property can't be sold because he didn't do all the steps necessary to properly record the deed. So to transfer title is what we really do, transfer title from one owner to the next. That's what we help people do. So to be able to transfer title, he would have to find that owner he bought the property from and get the documentation that they had an agreement to buy the property from this previous owner, and the previous owner had passed away.
Wow.
So
That's a mess.
so now he has a property in a great area. He could sell it for a great return, and
You can't do
he can't do anything. And that's just one of countless examples that professionals can really help steer you in the right way, not only for you, and you got children involved in most of these situations. They can inherit a nice property and a better way of life as well.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's just one of many instances where things can go wrong. And as a part of the show, we're going to talk about the realities of real estate and how these things can go wrong. And if you know someone who's done something before, many times say you want to fix a faucet or whatever, and you don't want to hire a professional, but you want to know how to do it. So you go about a video or something. And sometimes you can get it right, but most times it might still leak.
Right.
I mean, really, whatever you pay for the professional advice is worth it. And I want to say this because when people list their properties for sale and they pay a commission to the broker, so you've got, again, the person who's buying the property and say the person is selling the property. And people sometimes are trying to get away from that either by selling it for them on their own or using some sort of firm that, doesn't charge anything or whatever. I think people don't understand the amount of work that goes into making sure that things go right and the amount of money that is spent from the agents on pocket, even before there is ever a sale, if there ever will be a sale to market that property. Can you talk a little bit about why commissions are deserved?
Absolutely. And in the real estate guide, it says the commission is earned when you find a ready, willing, and able buyer. So that's what we do. We help people find a ready, willing, and able buyer. But as everybody is trying to skirt the opportunity to pay a professional their commissions. And we talked about briefly what can happen if you do that, right? So the commission on that particular piece of property, that's why I said first thing we do, we sit down. What is the property worth? What is your net take home minus the commissions? And here's my number. Here, my check off to say, and here's your big check that you will get at end of. But trust and believe that everything is going to be done in order because we are governed by a licensing board for that these off-market and the sell by owners, they don't have that regulation that they have to meet, right?
So if somebody does something wrong or doesn't treat you fairly as an agent, you have someone you can almost get their license saved.
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, I work too hard for these licenses. I am not one to lose them just because something nefarious. And that's why commissions are earned. And they're not given to agents. Some agents, some clients may feel like we just show up at the table, but there's 200 plus things that we're doing to work on these clients' behalf to make certain that everything's done decent and in order. And at the end of the day, commission is earned as a result of that.
Yeah, and I just want to say just another thing about the commissions is that there's a percentage that you will negotiate with whomever the broker is that is going to sell your property. But understand that broker or that agent that you're working with didn't get 100% of that money. It would be nice, but that's not how it works. Then that's split in half. So whoever brings in the buyer gets half of it. Whoever brings in the seller gets half of it. And then I will also say as an agent, then I don't get all of the half.
Right.
Some of it goes to the brokerage or other fees or services. And so that kind of dwindles down. But it's money well spent, and believe me, the time put in is more than the commission if you were to charge on a professional level basis.
Absolutely. And then there's FMLS fees and administrative fees that the brokerage or the agent don't receive. So every step of the process, marketing that property, these are fees that the agent has paid out even before they even get to the table. So agents are compensated for those efforts, but just know that all of that number that a client can see on that check doesn't go directly to the agent or the agency in this case. But it's well earned to know that peace of mind. Nobody's knocking at your door and saying you got 30 days to vacate because you don't own this property.
Yes, that's correct. Well, we're going to come right back after we take a short break. I would encourage you to please, during this break, like this video, share it with people, as more importantly, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss anything. Hit the notification buttons. We'll be back in 30 seconds or so, and we'll continue our discussion. Thank you. Welcome back to Realty, Resources, and Realities. Felicia Moore, your host. I'm here with Michael Williams, the broker of record of EXIT Realty West Midtown. We've kind of discussed, why professional is the way to go, the services that the brokerage provides. And now I want to talk a little bit more about how we can be a resource to you and give you information. This show, there's so many facets to real estate, and it is your biggest single investment. Whether it's you owning your own home or whether it's you maybe having interest in or ownership of property that's in your family that's just sitting there, you don't know what to do. We want to be a resource to you. It's free to ask the question. It's free for us to be able to help get you the information. We talked about this a little bit in the first show, and I know all of you have experienced this. I experience it quite often where somehow they got my cell phone or they got my text messages, and I give them our phone number, and people call me all the time wanting to know if I want to sell my property. Now, of course, I don't, because if you sell it, I don't know where I'm going to go because things have gotten so high, but I like my house and I don't want to move. But every once in a while, you might get a little curious, or you might have some thoughts that you may have to move or leave. And whether or not taking that phone call and dealing with this stranger on the phone is the best way to go, or is it better to seek out a professional and list your property? So we want to talk about that. But first, one of the resources that your office provides is if somebody called me and I wanted to get a sense of what my property is worth, there's something that you can do to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got many tools, one of which is the CMA, we call it in the business, but it's just a comparative market analysis. It just tells the customer, what is my property worth? I've been in this house 38 years. I have no clue what this house is worth. Things in Atlanta have changed in drastic form since the last census. Atlanta has changed and property values have gone up, and you've been in the house 38 years. You have no clue. And you got somebody on the phone saying they'll give you $50,000 cash dollars for this piece of property, and it sounds good to you, but because you just don't know. And so what we do is if you call us and say, hey, what's my property worth? We'll take some information from you. And within a day, we can get you a property analysis or comparative market.
What is that include? What is included in this?
The CMA includes what properties have sold in your area and like and kind in the last 6 months. We can go down to the last 30 days. We can augment it such that if you really thinking of selling, we could narrow the scope to 30 days. What's sold in your area in the last 30 days? What's sold in the last 6 months? What's sold in the last year? So you have a better sense. And then we'll take out some of those anomalies because there's going to be some on the high and some on the low end. And we'll narrow it down and get a greater sense of what your property is worth, because real estate works as properties are sold that sets a new comp or compare market amounts.
Yeah, and I think it's a great tool. But, there's another way I just thought about as you were talking, because we're going to also talk about, how you protect your property. And we'll be doing this in the show. There'll be many different topics that we'll discuss. But one of the things that people are starting to get are their property tax assessments, where the county that you live in will send you a notice and tell you that they value your property at X.
Right.
And based on that value, then your taxing jurisdictions, the county, the city that you live in, will tax based on that.
Right.
And when your property value goes up, times whatever the millage rate is that the government will charge, will increase your property tax.
Yes, it will.
And so sometimes people find that they need to appeal that. They'll say, this is too much. Would a CMA be able to help them in that instance for hesitant?
Absolutely. CMA, and you bring up a great point, and a lot of people don't know that. So thank you for bringing that whole scenario to light, that one, the property taxes do change. That's one thing that you brought up. Two, you can appeal those changes, and it's a 3-person board that will listen to your evidence of what you think your property is worth, and you can appeal that with the city of Atlanta if you're in the city of Atlanta or other.
But the CMA will help you some evidence.
And the CMA, you could put it right there at that evidentiary hearing and say, hey, this is what the CMA suggests this property is worth. So arming yourself with information not only helps you if you want to sell, but assessing your property value such that you're being taxed appropriately is twofold in that CMA. So that was a great call.
And one thing I'll say about values of property, just generally, and people don't like to hear this, but when you get that assessment and you see that assessed value, you want to make sure it's not out of line, that it's not more than you would sell your property for. It is typically not. But there's another piece to the assessment process, and we'll probably need to get into this more deeply in another show, is uniformity. And making sure that people in your neighborhood or in your area are taxed the same. Because I know I personally am a part of a class action lawsuit because they sales case. They waited until I bought the house. Then they taxed me on what I bought the house on. Okay, that's the value of the property, right? But what was wrong about it is all the other properties around me that had not sold still had some lower amount. So they got caught on the fact that it was not uniform. So, you know, the CMA every 3 to 5 years isn't a bad thing because property values, aren't they increasing
quite rapidly? In our area, we talked about where we are on our first show, where we are in the historic west side of Atlanta that's just changing every single day. And as such, property values and property assessments are changing every single day. So yeah, absolutely. The CMA is your friend so that you are armed with information. You could take it to the people calling you for any and all sales, and I'll buy your property for $50,000, or you could take it and have some substantial evidence for property tax assessment.
Yeah, I just thought of another way, and that's how we build relationships, because we'll provide this information for you just as a service because we care about the community. If you're looking to, the banks will do a quick search of your value of property if you're looking for equity line of credit. If you think, hey, I think I can get more or whatever, at least you can get a CMA to prove to them, hey, I have more value, more equity in my property than you're stated. Right. So there are many ways that you could do that, and that's a way to connect with the office, and we'll be more than happy to help you. You can always reach me, and I'll get into whoever in the office at AskFelicia at EXITWestMidtown.com. That's AskFelicia at EXITWestMidtown.com. And we'll also make sure we put it up on the screen either now or at the end of the show so that you can get it done. So if you need some help, we'll be more than happy to do that. And so let's talk about some other ways to protect your property. Because when I first got elected, I realized, and this was, again, 24 years ago, recognizing that people did not have information. And one of the most successful programs I had was a Protecting Your Property seminar for seniors. And we had everybody there, from the tax assessor to talk about how you value the property, to the tax commissioner to tell people how they could read their property tax bill, making sure you have those homestead exemptions and all of that. But we also talked about the internal and external things that people need to be aware of as you're a homeowner. Because you mentioned earlier somebody that may have owned their homes for 30 years or whatever. Have you found that people who have owned their home for that period of time or longer have typically deferred maintenance on something?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The standard rule of thumb is 1% of the value of your home you should set aside for repairs. That's the industry rule of thumb. 1% of what your value is set aside for repairs, yearly repairs. So that's the rule of thumb there. So to note that, you want to know what your property is valued at. So a CMA obviously will help you do that. And bringing in resources, what you're exposed to as a client homeowner, once you call a professional, we're going to call other professionals. And we're going to do a deep dive into, okay, you have these deferred maintenance items. What does that mean for the value of your property in the event you've been in it 38 years and you up in age, you're in your golden age, right? And so we will assess the situation. Again, we leave people whole and we treat them with professional, and we have a heart for people. So we will assess that information with that in mind to say, okay, these are your options, Mr. Client. These are the third make. These are even go so far as the reputable contractors that here's 3 reputable contractors that we will recommend, and we will even give some oversight, some insight. Well, that you don't need a new addition. We just need to maintenance what you have. So we're in it, even if it doesn't end up at the closing table with a commission check. Because again, we want to service the community, and to do so, we got to give them the information that they need.
Yeah, and so, we have excellent partners here, and certainly want to be able to bring them into the show. Let's do, from exterminators, termites are big deals. It cause a lot of damage, and it can been there for a long time. You may not have known it.
It's too late.
Yeah, so you're going to need to watch your roof and your gutters, insulation, those kinds of things, particularly when you've been in a home for a while, you forget. So they're the external things, but then internal to the house, making sure your plumbing's working, all of that. So we want to discuss those things and bring in, I think, great partner. I want to talk about one partner that we probably need to bring in, because I think that this is one of the number one things that I see is a threat to people's property, and that's poor estate planning. Can you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're partnered with a law firm here in the Metro Atlanta area that does a phenomenal job closing real estate transactions, but also do a phenomenal job getting estate planning set up for people. We've had Tua, who is a partner of our office, do a 1-hour speak about estate planning and threw out some alarming statistics, one of which 70% of people don't have a plan at all. 70%. These are the biggest asset that you will have in your life, and 70% just don't have a plan. Don't have a plan at all. And that was one thing he brought up. The second thing he brought up, you can get a plan in place for as little as $700. $700 a weekend away, a weekend trip, less than a weekend trip. You can get your affairs in order. And so when we see cases of people on courthouse steps or our homeless population being getting greater increases in numbers, these are all steps that we as a firm, with the community's help, we can eradicate some of these. We can make a dent in some of these homeless cases by getting some estate plans in order, because grandma passed away and she owned the house for years, but didn't have a plan. So when the house, when grandma passed away and the house is there, and whoever's staying in there, the aunts or uncles or cousins, and they aren't paying the taxes, next thing you know, that the house is gone, and the asset that was in the family is gone. And that's just because they were not willing to talk to an estate planner. So not only do we help people buy and sell, we connect people with professionals. And on our website, we have that discussion.
We look at the playlist and find that video. It will be very influential for you to look at. And the other one is taxes. People are losing their property taxes. Sometimes people don't even know that they have not paid their taxes. I've run into situations where people had their taxes escrowed as a part of their mortgage, so it was getting hacked. And they're selling a wage bill. But as soon as they paid it off, because they've been there 30 years plus, they paid off the mortgage, they forget that they are still on the hook for the taxes. And if you let those taxes racked up and somebody wants that property, it's probably going to end up on the courthouse steps.
Yes, ma'am, it will. Every first Tuesday of the month here in Metro Atlanta, we see courthouse steps full of people wanting to get an opportunity at your property just because of these things didn't happen on the front end. Again, 1% of what that value is, set it aside for repairs, taxes, or what have you, so that you can be in a better position. There's firms that we're associated with that will still escrow. You could still escrow even though it's paid off. So, and they will pay your taxes for you. So that's the one, we will put you in touch with resources.
So this is realty, resources, and realities. We've talked about all of that, and I'm sure we can go on and on, but we're going to start to wrap up this show. I do want to point out to those of you who are licensed real estate agents, if you didn't see the first show, please join that show. You will see why I joined this team. We would love to have you here. You can reach out to me and ask Felicia at EXITWestMidtown.com, and I can certainly connect you and get more information. We're going to play a short video from our Exit Corporate, and we'll come back and we'll close out the show. Hello, Felicia Moore again here with our show on the channel, EXIT West Midtown. Please look at all of the videos that are there, but make sure you like and subscribe to this show, which is Realty, Resources, and Realities. I just want to thank you, Michael. We've got another show to do together so that we can share with people in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you for just your heart for service and what we can do together to just really embody and empower our community with the resources they need to make informed decisions about their real estate assets. So
thank you. And I want to make sure that you get your topic covered on this show. Believe me, I have a long list of things that we can discuss, but we also want to make sure we're discussing what you want to discuss, or if you just need an offline consultation on the issue that concern you, please reach out to me at AskFelicia at EXITWestMidtown.com. AskFelicia at EXITWestMidtown.com, and you will hear your topic being discussed here on this show. So, as I have said, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit those notification buttons on this video, and we'll see you at our next show.
Why real estate professionals across North America are choosing EXIT Realty.
Because of EXIT, I am completely debt-free.
Myself and my family have been able to achieve financial freedom.
I am earning more than I ever thought possible.
The EXIT formula was actually created to be the solution in the real estate industry, to address all the problems. For agents, in the beginning, they need steady, consistent paychecks. EXIT has something that is a key differentiator. We provide residual income.
Do the job once and get paid over and over. Fill in the gaps between commissions and create the life you always wanted. Learn how you can have more. Text 4MM to 85377.